Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Matt Jarbo here, $3 Theater. Welcome to Hollywood After Dark for the 24th of January, 2021. As you can see, it looks a little bit different today. I'm using OBS. I'm not using StreamYard because I gotta talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on. So, for those of you who aren't aware, I suffer from seasonal effectiveness disorder. And usually between the months of December to about mid-February, I go through ups and downs like you wouldn't believe. And it's only made worse by not having a proper sleep schedule because I am predominantly a night owl and I look after my two daughters in the morning. So I'm not getting a lot of sleep. The sleep I'm getting is not good. And with movies more or less taking an absolute terrible back seat because of Hollywood or because of COVID, makes it really difficult, really fucking difficult to keep up with everything and be positive about it. So I've been a dick recently. I've been an asshole recently in a number of different ways. And I apologize if I've pissed you off. I'm taking a couple steps back on a few things. I'm not going to try and engage politically on Twitter for a while because I just wanted to get past the election. That's my own personal thing. I do want to keep talking with you guys, but I can't keep up with the nightly live streams. That doesn't mean they're going to stop. It just means I cannot keep up with them as often as I was doing. I absolutely run out of energy. I run myself into the ground because I think I can do everything. Truth of the matter is I can't. And that's probably one of the hardest admissions any content creator can make, especially when it's about something that they're passionate about, because it's easy for creator burnout to happen, especially in months like January. And I just wanted to be honest with you guys. So I did want to talk today about a couple things and then go from there. So just wanted to do that. So as we can see here, Godzilla v Kong, the trailer dropped. It's pretty spectacular. I think Adam Wingard has done a pretty solid job with putting this thing together. The budget does look considerably lower, if I'm being honest with you. It looks considerably lower than Godzilla King of the Monsters. I think it is actually lower than Godzilla King of the Monsters, predominantly because of how little money that movie made. It's a great film. I love King of the Monsters. I walked out of that movie saying this is like pure sex, because it is. It's just monster v monster combat. Ooh, who doesn't love a little monster v monster combat? But then we get this movie, and it's coming to HBO Max and IMAX cinemas. If your IMAX cinema is open, mine is. I have no fucking idea if mine's going to be open or not. I drove by it the other night. It's closed down. Looks kind of creepy on the outside. I drove by and I'm like, man, I'd love to go see a movie, but shit. Washington is supposed to reopening up December, mid-December. Here it is, almost the end of January, and we're still not fully up yet. So that sucks. But anyway, Godzilla v Kong trailer looks pretty badass. I did want to take a look at a couple things here. Discussing Film brought up a couple cool screenshots from it, showing Kong here on the boat. Again, you can see that the CG is a little bit on the budget's a bit lower, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. If the soundtrack is good, the acting is good, the action is good, and the spectacle is good, no one's going to give a crap, to be honest with you. It could look a little bit worse for wear, but no one's going to care. We got this shot here of what appears to be Godzilla in Tokyo. That's going to be pretty cool. I like the neon lights. I like the way that it looks. I like the fact that they are taking it to Tokyo. Kong here jumping off of an exploding freighter from the atomic blast under the water. This is what I also don't get about the scene. They're in the middle of the ocean in this scene right here. And he jumps off of it. He's jumping off of it like an action movie, like, oh, I gotta go. Oh, I gotta, And it's like, dude, you're gonna be in the water with a seafaring lizard. Like, all he's got to do is just grab you and pull you down into where you are unable to. Like, it's fuck, man. I'm just like, it looks cool, but they better be close to shore, or like Mothra had better come on in and like scoop him up and take him away. Although the joke that's been floating around Twitter has been, are these two guys going to fight and then realize that their mom's name are both Mothra? Which, all things considered, is very funny. I actually really get a kick out of that joke. We got this last shot here of Godzilla's atomic fire breath, King Kong wielding a gigantic axe that is taking the full brunt of the atomic blast. A little bit weird there, if I'm being honest with you. A little bit crazy, if I'm being honest with you. But at the same time, okay, sure. There's also people that are complaining about, and this is a spoiler theory, by the way, spoiler theory. I want to make that clear. That they're saying that it's possible that Mechagodzilla is the villain. That Mechagodzilla is going to be the last one that you see. And I think that's the case. I think they are going to team up against a common foe, right? Kind of like with Batman v Superman. They fought. Wonder Woman, in this case, Mothra, shows up. And they're going to take on another one. And I think that's going to be Mechagodzilla based upon what we saw at the end of Kong. Or, I mean, not Kong. Godzilla King of the Monsters, with that extremist group finding the head of Ghidorah. So of course, you know, I think that's going to be something that they use in order to turn it. It could be Mecha Ghidorah. I have no idea. I think it's going to be Mecha Godzilla. I think that's what's going to happen, because something is provoking Godzilla apparently. And this is, I have to rant about this for a second. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Comicbook.com. And I fucking hate them sometimes. I really do fucking hate them sometimes. Put out this article today. Hashtag Godzilla versus Kong needs to answer some questions about why Godzilla is rampaging. Like, are you kidding me here? What the hell? They got to answer some questions about why Godzilla's rampaging, why Godzilla is the bad guy in the trailer, because he was a good guy in the last two movies. So what happened? Well, in the trailer, they go like, something's provoking Godzilla. And he is rampaging, and we don't know why. Do you think the movie's not going to provide answers? I don't want to question anyone's journalistic integrity here. But when I look at something like this, when I look at something like Godzilla v Kong, and it's all, who wrote this article? Let me just bring this up here. Nick Valdez wrote this article. Let me take a quick look to see. It's a stupid article. Is there any comments here? Is there any start? Let me see here. I want to see if there's any comments. There's no comments. But what are the tweets saying? You know, like, yes, Charles Hadley here says yes, because that's why people are going to go see these movies, to see why Godzilla is doing it. Now, granted, look, I'll be fair on this one. Comic Book needs to, Slam here says, and you'll find out when you watch the movie. Yeager here says that's not like Godzilla. Them, Godzilla's killing people. Me, Godzilla kills 50 people every, you know, I mean, like, look, come on, man. You know, it's just like, people are entertaining it. Although I have a tweet here. Well, Hot House Flowers says, does it hurt to write clickbait this stupid? And then me saying here, something is provoking him. It was literally brought up in the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. Oh my God, you clickbaiting fucks. Meme of Robert Downey Jr. internally screaming, because that's how I felt when I read this tweet. And that's why I wanted to bring it up to yell about Nick. This is why I hate these clickbait sites, man. This is why I hate these clickbait sites. And it makes it difficult to do this job, because it's like all they do is put out nonsense. I haven't even talked about the whole Star Wars situation, which I might do in a separate video. I might do, because it's stupid nonetheless. It's stupid none the damn less. Anyway, and I don't know how many fights I want to get into. If my mental health is already hurt, this is the problem. When I brought up the mental health thing earlier, this is what I'm talking about. We're not allowed to have nice things, guys. We're not allowed to have nice things, because you've got people that are taking everything they can to turn it into some kind of angle, right? Some kind of angle here. Godzilla v Kong needs to answer questions. You know, why is Star Wars openly racist against white? I mean, all of this nonsense. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous stuff. Now, okay, I'll be ridiculous for a quick second. I'll put myself in the hot seat, because I did tweet this out this morning. I did come across another article from comicbook.com, because for some reason I followed them. I'm a glutton for punishment. Let's be fair, folks. I'm a glutton for punishment. And they put up an article saying Ghostbusters star calls the 2016 reboot a mistake. And it's Ernie Hudson. He's talking about it, you know, who played Winston Zeddemore, brings it up. And he says he recently spoke to Living Life Fearless about Ghostbusters Afterlife and revealed that his opinion of the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot, which polarized audiences, the actor stated that he liked the film, but the rebooting was not the right decision. He says, a reboot to me means you're trying to do the movie over, another version of what we already did. And I think that was a mistake, adding it wasn't a continuation or an extension of. It was somehow a different universe there. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Us, but it's not Us. He went on to elaborate that the reboot comes with certain issues attached, but finishing here by saying, but like I said, I just felt like a retelling of the same story, which automatically causes comparisons that you don't really need to be doing. And I mean, look, the thing is, that's a fair assessment about reboots in general. Don't do it. Stop doing it. Nobody wants it. Stop it. But the writer here has to push some kind of agenda, saying here that the reboot was mired in controversy stemming from the response of the film on social media. While some of the negative response was targeted the female cast, some of it criticized the decision to reboot the franchise instead of continuing it. While that is, in essence, some basically true statement, because yes, quote unquote, some of the criticism was aimed at the female casting. Others was at the whole decision for doing it. But as a person who extensively covered, I've been mocked for it heavily over the years because it's 5 years old now. We shouldn't be even talking about this movie anymore, but we are. I've talked about this movie a lot, but the thing is it's not that there was like a lot of criticism against the female casting. All right. I mean, even Donald Trump came out and said, like, what the hell's the deal with this? But that was before he was president or even decided to run, I think, or maybe he was running. But that was very minimal. It was very small. It didn't matter as much as they tried to make it out to be. Now, the thing with it is, though, the thing you have to remember is that this was the media. As I say here, the media was simping for Sony, right? The media was simping for Sony because they came on out and they were just all like 1-2 people said something like, see, Ghostbusters fans are hating the women. Ghostbusters fans are terrible at this. And they ran with this narrative. The cast got in on it. The director got in on it. The head of the studio got in on it. The media was backing them constantly when it came to this. This didn't freaking change. And it's been years and the movie was a flop. And the movie was a flop because the movie was not needed. It was, to quote Ernie Hudson, a mistake. It was a mistake, and he's not the only one to bring it up. Dan Aykroyd has brought it up. Bill Murray has kind of hinted at it a little bit, not too much, but still he's brought it up a little bit. And at the end of the day, I think it's just like, it was a mistake of a movie that I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt to. I did. I gave the benefit of the doubt to it. And I still to this day want to like it because I don't like not liking movies. But it's like that in The Last Jedi. The media defended it to the point of where it's like any criticism was met with, well, you're just a misogynist. Which is absolutely stupid. So stupid. All right, let's jump. This is an interesting one coming in from the disinsider.com, talking about Raya and the Last Dragon. The action was actually inspired by the John Wick franchise. I mean, look, Disney has done this before. If you take a look at Zootopia, for example, Zootopia is very much inspired by, like, Chinatown, by noir films. It's inspired by those kind of properties. And they play it up really well. I mean, there's infinitely little things to find in Zootopia that are hysterical in the way that the movie tackles racism specifically, and then also doing the noir aspect of it. It's a great story. I love Zootopia so much. I think it's such a good movie. Anyway, so this is what's going on here. While speaking with Empire, directors Don Hall and Carlos Lopez Estrada kept mentioning the Keanu Reeves-led action franchise John Wick as an inspiration for the action. Estrada went on to say that the film wouldn't have been PG had they kept some of the original footage. Says there may have been some things that if we were to include them would give us an R rating for violence. So just so you know, there's a cut of the movie with broken bones and stuff. This is what I want to see. This is 100% what I want to see. This is absolutely what I want to see. I want the R-rated cut of Raya and the Last Dragon because look, Disney knows like how to make money. Okay. Disney knows how to like market the shit out of everything. We know this about Disney. That's not even up for debate on any front. But the crazy thing with it though, the crazy thing with it is that, look, they've got a property here where they've got like, make it PG, release the PG-13 cut showing more action, like show us a more mature Disney animated studio situation, right? Because all things considered, that might be moving us away from the Lasseter-inspired films, because we're just now getting to the point where Jennifer Lee and Pete Docter are going to be, their films are coming forward. It's been almost 4 years, I think 3 years since Lasseter stepped down. Although, to be fair, he was forced out. He was absolutely forced out. He acknowledged he had hugged people the wrong way. But because, at that point, your career is just done. And so you have all of that stuff. And he, I don't know. I want to see it. I don't think it's going to be rated R. The joke here is that it's going to be rated R. But it could be a hard PG. It could be a PG-13. Like, you put it on Disney Plus when it finally comes out. Fuck it, man. If they're going to be separating it, put it on Hulu. Give it to us on Hulu. Give us Raya in the last "I'ma fuck you up" dragon, give us some of that hardcore shit, man. Disney's got more adult fans than they do kids fans anyway. Let's be realistic here. All right. Some might argue, no, Disney is so good. They can't do that. Disney bought Fox. They own FX. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has been renewed for like 3 more seasons. So no, they like money and they like attention and they like money. So just, like F off on that one right there. Just F the F off on that one, you stupid bastards. Okay, so here's another interesting one that Discussing Film put out. They kind of mentioned here this interview that Kevin Feige has given them for eventizing the MCU, which is an interesting way of talking about it. And Feige, the article is kind of, it's this, it's kind of like, I can't find exactly what his whole little piece is. What he says about it. But, he says here, I don't know, right? Like there's been a lot of fights about it this week. Okay. So head honcho Kevin Feige is all for the week-by-week format. The topic of The Mandalorian's success came up during a press event for WandaVision, and the famed studio president didn't hold back at how much of a fan he was. Because let's be fair, he has heavily inspired The Mandalorian, at least season 2. I don't think you're going to be able to convince me otherwise of that one. He says, "There's lots and lots of The Mandalorian that has inspired us at Marvel Studios, not the least of which is the stagecraft technology that they pioneered that we're using on some upcoming projects." Yes, I love stagecraft tech, dude. The volume is just sexy to me. It's so sexy. It's as a tech person, like I love filmmaking. I love the process. I love the techniques. The volume is just like the sexiest thing I've seen in so long. It's just so sexy. I'm just keep saying it's sexy. Deal with it. The technology in question refers to the advancements with LED stage production pioneered by ILM. Almost any type of lighting and atmosphere from any kind of imaginable terrain can be replicated indoors. Yep. And some of the upcoming MCU shows, Feige could be hinting at Loki and Secret Invasion. All right. So what he says here, one of the things I was always concerned about was to say anything that we do, we want to eventize. We want to make people understand that these are projects on Disney Plus, that they are as important as the projects going into theaters, and we want to feel the same excitement. The Disney marketing team is the best in the world and the best of all time, frankly, right now. And they certainly showed what they can do that they can do that spectacularly on Disney Plus with The Mandalorian. So the way they've done the week-to-week breakdown, the way that they've done all this kind of stuff, the way that they've put it all together, it really does go to show you that the week-to-week format is great. Now, look, you might be arguing, but man, I don't like to wait. I want to binge. I want it all at once. I need it all at once. If I don't have it all at once, it pains me. I've heard those arguments. I'm hyperbolizing a little bit. I'm being a bit facetious, but I've heard those arguments from a lot of people online. Well, here's the thing. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. The binge model is failing, immeasurably failing. It's terrible for what you ultimately want. Now, let me explain. Yes, I like binging a show as well. All right. But the pump and dump method that Netflix has proliferated, the pump and dump method that they've put out there in the way that has made them as popular as they are, ultimately has a downside to it. 10 years on, it's a downside because the pump and dump, it's consume, and then it's over. Now, someone might say, oh, but what about Stranger Things? And what about The Queen's Gambit? Sure, Sure, Queen's Gambit, yeah, it had a lot of hype for a little bit longer than I thought it would, but it's kind of over now. Stranger Things, we haven't seen in a year and a half. We don't know when season 4 is coming. We just don't know. So no one's really talking about it. And when season 4 or season 3 of Stranger Things released, it was a shorter season, 8 episodes, came out July 4th weekend, 2019. People binged through it, talked about it for a couple days, and then it was kind of over, right? It's kind of over. And I've said the same thing about Zack Snyder's Justice League. It should not be a movie. It should be a 4-hour limited event series spaced out week to week. Apparently that's not what's going to happen anymore. And that's dumb. It's very dumb. So dumb. But a lot of people out there are disagreeing with me like, no, I want it all right now. You don't. I think it's the trauma, and I mean this, the trauma and the PTSD that comes from how television and the network television has treated you for literally your entire life. Because remember how it is, right? You watch a show and it's all heavily promoted. It's like, coming this Sunday to Fox. He's a man on the search for his daughter, who's a burrito, kidnapped by the cartel in Juarez, Mexico. He's Nathan Fillion in El Guapo del Taco Burrito. I don't know. Whatever, man. Okay, I'm making it up. But they hype it. They hype the hell out of it. They hype the shit out of it. Then what happens? Show comes out. Maybe they give, this is Fox, by the way. So they give like maybe 1-2 episodes. And if it fails to connect in any conceivable measure, they cancel it. That's one example. But what about a show that goes on 3-4 seasons, has a dedicated fan base of people? It gets to that cliffhanger finale. Then it gets canceled before going into the last season in order to be able to wrap up the storyline. How do you feel when those characters are gone and you do not get closure? It hurts. It actually has been scientifically proven to raise your cortisol levels, causing you, and this is real, physical pain and anguish. Because the connection that we have with these fictional characters, be it in literature or media, can actually, when they're gone, manifest that self in the same way that we feel if we lose someone that we know in our real life. I am not making that up. So when you talk about binge culture, it's a show that they're going to put the entire season out so you get all of it. So you're given that little bit. You're given that taste. But even Netflix with this binge culture, how many shows has it canceled before giving it a proper conclusion? Santa Clarita Diet was a pretty big one. You know? They've canceled a bunch of shows that never got a conclusion. Even though they gave you the whole season, you still don't get that closure. You don't get that money shot. You don't get that finish. And after years and years and years and years and years of that kind of torment, it creates a trauma bond with these particular outlets. And this is an overarching problem. Shows will do better when they have week-to-week consumption to build a solid foundation. And the thing is, the studios have to. They want to make their shows more popular. And they want more longevity, and they want to make more money. What they have to do is trust in the product to see it through. And if things aren't working out, do not just pull the cord. Do not just pull the plug. You have to give it a finale to add closure. That will then work with the audience who will trust you for your next endeavor. How many times have you said, I'll watch a show when they get like halfway through the season, or I know it's getting a full season run, or when it comes out I can binge it, or whatever. You don't want to put up the emotional currency in order to be able to experience this when it's time, right? You don't want to do it because of all the times those network televisions stations, those cable stations, Netflix, whatever, have smacked you with their dick square in the face. You just don't want to do it. It's trauma and it's PTSD. I'm not making that up either. I'm legitimately being honest with you guys on this one. Anyway, finally, let's talk here about Paramount apparently is refusing offers from Netflix and Apple to buy Top Gun Maverick. And this is a fascinating one. It's coming in from the Wall Street Journal, and they're behind a paywall, so F them. I can't read it. But the idea there, though, is that Netflix and Apple have approached Paramount about like, hey, we'll take Top Gun Maverick, baby. And Paramount's like, no, we're good. Now, there's a couple different, in my opinion, factors here. All right. And I know everyone's talking about this needs to be seen in theaters. This needs to be experienced in IMAX. And I agree with you. Joseph Kosinski, the director, fantastically visual director. Look at Tron Legacy. Look at Oblivion. Fantastically visual director. The big problem here is that this is also probably a Tom Cruise being the producer on the movie and not wanting it going to streaming. That's another factor. But what is Paramount working on? What is Viacom CBS getting ready to unveil and launch here pretty soon? Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus giving you access to all of Paramount's back library, like the Beverly Hills Cop movies, the Transformers franchise, the Mission Impossible franchise, whatever else is out there that Paramount has, which is a lot, actually. They've done a lot over the years. So they are going to want to have content, exclusive content to their streaming service. So yeah, even though they worked deals with Netflix for Annihilation and Cloverfield Paradox, I could see them holding off on Top Gun Maverick in order to make that something that you can watch on Paramount Plus. That's my thoughts on that one. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but we're going to have to wait and see how that whole thing goes. So that's all. That's all the news on that one. I know it's kind of a short day. Stuff I want to talk about. I wanted to get it out of the way so when I'm back on tomorrow, when I do this tomorrow, I can pull from our stories. Anyway, I appreciate you guys listening to my situation. And I hope you understand, it's not that I don't want to go live or I don't want to do this live or I don't want to talk to you guys about this live. I do. And we'll still do live streams like once a week. But for just the next little bit, because it's so difficult for me to continuously do it, I have to be in the right mindset. And it's a weird thing. That's where I'm at. That is where I'm at with that one. But anyway, I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate everybody watching. If you want to support this whole experiment, become a channel member. You can do that. You can also become, you can join the Facebook group. You could join the Patreon. A lot of things you could do. But most importantly, I like the video, goddammit. I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day. Enjoy your weekend. Watch the Godzilla v Kong trailer a few more times. And peace out.